What is an atom? Atom is a particle of matter that uniquely defines a chemical element. An atom is like a tiny solar system. The center is called the nucleus, made up of tiny particles called protons and neutrons. The nucleus is surrounded by clouds of other tiny particles called electrons. The electrons rotate about the nucleus in fixed paths called shells or rings. An electron is a negatively charged subatomic particle that can be either bound to an atom or free, not bound. An electron, that is bound to an atom, is one of the three primary types of particles within the atom. The other two are protons and neutrons. A proton is a subatomic particle found in the nucleus of every atom. The particle has a positive electrical charge, equal and opposite to that of the electron. Neutron is an uncharged elementary particle that has a mass nearly equal to that of the proton and is present in all known atomic nuclei except the hydrogen nucleus. Electron spin refers to a quantum property of electrons, and it also is a form of angular momentum. Furthermore, the magnitude of this momentum happens to be permanent. The electron spin is a fundamental property just like charge and rest mass. Hydrogen has the simplest atom with one proton in the nucleus and one electron rotating around it. Copper is more complex with 29 electrons in 4 different rings rotating around a nucleus that has 29 protons and 29 neutrons. Other elements have different atomic structures. Each atomic particle has an electrical charge. Electrons have a negative charge. Protons have a positive charge. Neutrons have no charge, they are neutral. The key difference between positive and negative ion is that the positive ion carries a positive electrical charge, whereas the negative ion carries a negative electrical charge. Ions are chemical species that derive from either the electron loss or gain. Therefore, these species carry an electrical charge. This charge can be either positive or negative. Hence, there are two forms of ions as positive ions and negative ions. Positive ions are chemical species that carries a positive electrical charge. We call it a cation. These cations form when a neutral chemical species loses an electron from its chemical structure. Positive ions can be atoms or moieties of molecules. These species have protons and electrons in equal amounts in order to neutralize the charges. Therefore, when this atom or molecule loses an electron, there is an extra proton which has a positive charge. This gives a net positive charge to the atom. If in the atomic structure, there are the same number of protons and electrons, then it is balanced. It is neither positive nor negative ion. Negative ions are chemical species which carries a negative electrical charge. We call it an anion. These anions form when a neutral chemical species gains an electron from its chemical structure. Negative ions can be atoms or moieties of molecules. These species have protons and electrons in equal amounts in order to neutralize the charges. When this atom or molecule gains an electron, there is an extra electron which has a negative charge. This gives the atom or molecule a net negative charge. Thus, what is the difference between positive and negative ion? Positive ions are chemical species which carries a positive electrical charge, when an atom or molecule loses an electron. So, positive ions have more protons than electrons. But, negative ions are chemical species which carries a negative electrical charge, when an atom or molecule gains an electron. Hence, negative ions have more electrons than protons. These are the main differences between positive and negative ion. The number of electrons in the outer orbit, valence shell or ring, determines the atom's ability to conduct electricity. Electrons in the inner rings are closer to the core, strongly attracted to the protons, and are called bound electrons. Electrons in the outer ring are further away from the core, less strongly attracted to the protons, and are called free electrons. Electrons can be freed by forces such as friction, heat, light, pressure, chemical action, or magnetic action. These freed electrons move away from the electromotive force, or EMF, electron moving force, from one atom to the next. A stream of free electrons forms an electrical current. When electrons are freed from their atoms and flow in a material, this is called dynamic electricity. If the free electrons flow in one direction, the electricity is called direct current, DC. If the free electrons change direction from positive to negative and back repeatedly with time, the electricity is called alternating current, AC. Answer the following questions. What is an atom? Explain the structure of an atom. Why is a neutron needed in any atom? What are the difference between positive and negative ions? Why can electron flow? Explain the differences between DC and AC.